down there this year. I played so bad. But I was, as a B,
1 minute.
playing as a D, I didn't help my teams at all.
Right, right.
I'm trying to tell him we're online.
Felt embarrassed. But I,
Oh, no, it's not.
you know, it's your knee, man.
You've had to reinvent your swing.
He was out there playing with Sea Haven, your partner.
John?
No, your partner,
Oh, Keith.
Keith.
Yeah.
And I asked Chip, I said, or asked Keith how he was playing. He said, well, I'm just not there. I'm just not playing well.
He really isn't.
And he said,
For him.
and then it was funny. I didn't say anymore. Sea Haven goes, no, he's still trying to buy his game. I said, well, I think that's the truth.
He's
Sure.
done that for 20 years.
Am I too loud? Oh, well, we're just talking about golfing.
Well, that's okay.
Okay, thank you for telling me. Yeah, I've already been warned by this. Yeah, I do. I want to make sure. I'm not gonna say any golf words.
No inappropriate jokes.
Nope.
That could
You
happen.
do such a great job at that. Just fantastic.
Other people.
One of my cousins.
Mom,
Worst
come
was
on.
the first
We're
tee of the
starving
league.
to
You
death.
got like 4 groups behind you, and they're all just staring at you.
We used to go, that's when I was working for Florida, we used to go to North Carolina, different places. And we were on the 12th hole. Or 10th
My
hole, I'm
sister's
sorry.
one of those long
But
braids
all the
before the
other
food.
schools had come around and was waiting on the 10th hole. It was in our group, it was in our 12 group. And I know I was playing good. I was playing well. For me, very good. And stuff, you know, low weight. So I'm sitting there swinging and to my stick and I swing at the ball. And I followed all the way through and I was here. And there was guys on the ground.
Because the ball was still there, wasn't it?
Right there. Didn't even move it.
She does good though. She
She's on her
does.
third
Yeah.
set of
He
new
keeps, she gets it all in there. She gets it all in, but she,
And that's not cheap.
And he, yeah, because he buys the good stuff.
What, does he sell them or trade them in?
Yeah, he tries. He's trying to get me to buy this last set, but the Flex.
did the commissioners, I had a meeting this morning, didn't I? 9:30. I thought about coming, but then I rolled back over in bed.
It's a shame because I could get a heck of a buy right now. So.
So he's got a regular flex, what set? What kind?
It was those new PXGs or PGs. Yeah, so, yeah. So, you know, he paid. I don't know. He always lies when he tells me what he pays.
Places
But
But I wouldn't mind having
if you
that.
could get him for half price, it'd be a nice set to have.
I bet you those things cost you.
I mean, after they caught
At
it.
least if you bought them new, I don't know, depends. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's the lower.
And he probably buys all of them,
They need, yeah, that needs to be brought to their attention.
you know.
He's got new drivers,
1 minute,
but he's got that reputation now. They all give him a hard time.
it's 29.
And his score, you know, he used to be one of those guys, he shot over 40. It was a really bad night. And now, I've beat him about every night in the league except for 2 or 3 this year. Because he just, his shoulders are all messed up. But no, he's gotten a lot worse.
I'm going, and well, we'll have a booth, my buddy, company will have a booth too, so. Be there.
Or Anton,
Playing with Chuck
in the Association of Counties, yeah.
and stuff. And I
The casino,
French Lake? Belterra.
can see that. Chuck, I said, Chuck.
yeah, it's the 20th through the 23rd,
The only thing you
September
don't wanna do
20th
that
to the 23rd.
Chuck does, is Chuck gets in his mind, he gets up here.
If everybody's ready, we'll call to order the meeting of the Morgan County Council for July 5th, 2021. Paul Prather's going to lead us in the pledge, and Vicki Kivett will then lead us in prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. And we thank you for our right yesterday in celebrating Independence Day. We thank you for our freedoms and our ability to openly serve our government. We pray that our work be pleasing to you, to our community. We ask that you grant safety to those on the front lines, whether it be military, public service, public safety, and law enforcement. And all these things we pray in your precious name. Amen.
Want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I know for a lot of us, it was a holiday, so we do appreciate you being here. We have the meetings from our June 7th, 2021 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those? And are there any questions or changes? If not, I look for a motion to approve.
Paul Prather makes said motion.
Thank you, Paul.
Second.
Motion by Paul Prather and a second by Troy Sprinkle. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. And we have an additional appropriation. We'll tackle that first. And that looks like with the jail. And I think we have the jail commander, Dave Rogers, with us tonight to go over that. Good evening, Dave.
Evening.
So it's been a while since we've had to come back for money, but our maintenance is kind of killing us this year. I called Kim and talked to her a little bit about that reference budget stuff. If you remember right, at budget time, which Jason, I think, was still there, and Troy may have. But anyways, we've got a 5-year capital improvement plan at the sheriff's office. We put that in the budget last year to fund those things, and some of those got postponed due to the bonding, which I understand and agree to. I think it's better to do it the other way. However, things are starting to break down on us, and so that has put our maintenance in a deficit. Right now, we're about $8,000 in the hole, and hoping that you guys will fund what we've asked for today. We believe that this, with what we can predict as problems and issues, should get us through the rest of the year to prevent us from having to come back. We have transferred what we can transfer as far as what we need to get by, but we're just kind of at the end of that. I'm happy to answer any questions. The letter, as we said, there's some issues with the fire suppression system that basically the fire department, when they came inspected, said need taken care of. There's some gauges that are actually expired that has to be updated every so often. So this will include that project along with the water at the facility, which we, throughout the years, have tried several different strategies to improve the water quality, but it's just hard on our water lines, and with the size of the lines that we have, our maintenance does do most of the plumbing, but when you get into 4- and 6-inch lines, that's beyond our capabilities and takes special tools. And so we've had a lot of leaks this year, which Josh is privy to as well, because our water bill was up a little bit. And so it's just general maintenance and just the buildings getting age on it, and unfortunately, and at budget time we'll talk about that again. However, the new addition isn't new any longer.
Right.
And I still think of it being about 7 years old, and we're actually hitting year 11 on that. So, and the odor side of the facilities.
Well, and the 24-hour use. And
It takes a beating. So we're asking for $60,000 for maintenance. We believe that will get us taken care of for the rest of the year, hopefully, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions for Jail Commander? Any questions in regard to the letter he presented with us at the $60,000 to hopefully get you through the rest of the year? Hearing none, I look for a motion.
Kelly Acala will make that motion to approve $60,000 for maintenance.
We have a motion from Kelly Acala
Jason Maxwell seconds.
and a second from Jason Maxwell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you,
Thank
David.
you, Council.
Terry Brock? Evening. And Morgan County Partnership for Water Quality Fund.
Yep, that's our fund. We act for an additional. We hired a new educator this spring because we lost our educator through soil and water. And we didn't budget nearly enough for materials. We got the fair coming up. We got to buy materials. We plan on getting back into schools to get materials. Well, we've taken both those funds that we're asking in additionals are basically gone already. Our new permit's coming in probably in October. Our new general permit. We'll have to educate the kids, but we also have to start educating the adults too. So it's just going to cost us more money, but the partnership covers that. You know, that's a non-reverting fund that Martinsville, Mooresville, Brooklyn, and Heartland Crossing, and we pay into. So we're just asking $5,000 in each. I don't anticipate spending that much, but I don't want to have to come back every month and ask for more money. So we thought we'd go ahead and just ask for that amount. So,
So you anticipate this 5,000 also taking care of not only the fair
yeah,
funds,
it'll
but
cover
the
everything.
school?
The 5,000 in each fund. We got
Okay.
2 separate funds. So we hope to get back into schools. We haven't been in there all because of the pandemic.
Right,
So
and
we've always done it before. We hope we get back into it. So.
is there questions from anyone on the council? Hearing none, I look for a motion.
Chip Keller, I'll make a motion to approve $10,000 appropriation.
Have a motion from Chip Keller.
Prather will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Let the record show approved 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're past the additionals. Looks like we have some transfers to look at this evening. No?
Oh.
What am I looking at? Oh, that's an additional too. I was looking, I always miss.
That's the addition of that.
Who's going to present on that one? Do you know? Jeannie? Okay.
Poor Jeannie.
It's been a busy year for Jeannie. Come on up. I'm sorry, I almost missed you.
Okay, I'm here tonight to ask you to approve this additional funds from another state grant. It is for vaccinations for children, not just children, but everyone. It's to promote and do outreach and education on the COVID vaccination. It is to target vulnerable populations, immunizing the homebound, and then it will, we've hired 2 part-time nurses to work this grant, and they will be helping finish immunizing the COVID vaccinations now that we've moved back here into the building. Wednesday and Thursday both, we have 60 patients coming in. So these ladies will help do the vaccinations. They also will have to conduct compliance site visits to different providers here in our county. They'll have to report vaccinations on the CHIRP program, which I don't know if all of you are familiar, but it's the state immunization registry program for vaccinations. And then they will also have to be required to give reports to the state, both quarterly and annual reports. So that's what they've designated to be done with these funds that we're asking you to approve tonight. They set the budget, so, but they did say that as we go along, we can change it, as needed. We do have to ask their permission before we come and ask you all to transfer or whatever within the budget. But I left it the way it is right now until we kind of have a better handle on what we're really doing with the grant.
So you didn't create this budget that's presented?
Right, I did not
amounts for-
create this.
Okay.
This was one of the attachments to the grant that
So-
they sent us.
So the state's assuming these
Yeah, right,
costs?
yeah. And why they chose the some odd cents and all that good stuff, I have no idea. But
What's the travel and lodging? Who's
Well,
traveling and lodging?
the nurses will go to homes and do immunizations to the homebound. They're going to, of course, have travel expenses with their vehicles. Now,
Right, but
we're not going to, now
There's
where
not
did you
gonna be
see travel
lodging.
and lodging? Well,
third one from the bottom.
That's the
okay,
title of
but
the
that
deal.
just says that
Okay,
because
all right, so
that's.
there's not actually.
Yeah,
lodging.
they're not going to stay
It's all
anyplace, no,
travel. Okay.
no. Unless some nice person asks you if they want to spend the night, but no.
Let's not
Then
do
you
that.
would run.
But no, it's just going to be mileage expense, that's
Gotcha.
all it is.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay? So I'll try to answer any questions that you all might have. Like I said, this has kind of just been dropped, but, in our laps, but, and so we are kind of just learning it too. But the grant actually began January of this year, which, you know, we haven't
So it's
spent
kinda
any
retro.
money yet. And then it will end June 30th of next year. So it's
next
a year
year.
and a half, but to
Okay.
us, it's only going to be right at a year. So,
It's coming from general fund, right?
No, it's coming from this grant fund.
Which we haven't seen anything on.
Well, the grant monies are the revenues to the grant, if you mean, if that's what you mean.
Has this grant money already been received? Is this a
I honestly don't understand, but there are other grants like this where the state sets the grant and all, but then it requires the county council to approve it or more or less rubber stamp it. That seems to be like, why? I mean, you can't change it, you can't without their approval.
Right. Now, is that a question I have? What if something in one line or another would become larger than the other line? Is it something we can move within those lines if there becomes a cost? Okay, so we would have to go back to them to approve that change if need be. I could just
Right.
see where something like that could be less in one and more in another.
Then it would have to come back to you.
and we
Yes.
may not even use some of these. Like I said, I don't know until we get
Right, to
going
get
with
started on it.
But
Okay. Any further questions or explanations needed? Okay, hearing none, I look for a motion to move forward on this.
Jason Maxwell makes that motion.
Thank you, Jason. We have a motion on the floor.
Troy Sprinkle, second.
Thank you, Troy. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. I'm sorry, did you have something,
No,
Paul?
I thought you were done. I didn't realize you were carrying. Do you know the percentage of the vaccinations that's been given here in
I think we're in the 40% range.
40%?
The nurse just gave that percentage at our board meeting last week, and I wasn't listening very well. But I'm pretty sure it was,
That's all right.
Your Honor.
I'm pretty sure it was in the 40% range.
Okay, and does that include children?
Well, they just have started doing children, so yes, it would include
Okay.
children, but
If we're only 40% then.
yeah,
That's what the state is, isn't it? About 40%?
I don't know.
She wasn't listening.
Listening.
I'm sorry, I'm
My
too
point
busy
is we're
with
right in line with
finances.
the
Right,
state.
Ron? Okay.
And the clinic has, at the clinic that was set up at this former Save-A-Lot, that has closed now, correct? Everything will be done here
Yeah,
at
we
the...
did a dance on the tables. last Friday.
You guys did a great job, though.
Thank you.
I heard
And
a
I'm
lot
going
in
to
the
tell you a little
community.
bit more about it
Okay.
when
Yeah, we'll have you
later,
back up.
so thank
Thanks,
you.
Jeannie.
Thanks, Gene.
What did he do, bail on us? All right. Well, I think I'm in transfers now. I think I missed an appropriation last time. So, Mike, you want to come on up and start to explain to us your need in your office? Good evening.
Evening.
God bless y'all. It's good to be here under the living circumstances, and we'll leave it at that. A couple things. I think you got in your packet a price sheet that we closed on a table.
Got the letter. I don't think I have a price sheet.
What I'm handing you is, this is my justification. Bear with me, I'll move this, I've been in office 6 months.
Down by now.
I know, she has it down there.
Okay. I'll pray for you.
Thank you.
Be mine, Keith, when we're done.
I'm sorry. Uh-oh.
Oh, there is a better
What I'm doing here tonight is I'm asking for moving from, and I got my sheet up there with you now.
Here, you can
Moving
take it.
from supplies.
Here, Mike, I was gonna say Vicki and I can share. You're fine.
What we're doing is, I'm wanting to move from lab and x-rays, which is 31,220, to equipment, which is 40,000, $5,000. We have currently in our morgue suite two exam tables that are adequate for doing autopsies. Then we have three what's called double-stack tables, and they're dangerous because the trays are on top of a frame and they move, number one. Number two, they're very narrow. Number three, they're very top-heavy. And if you try to go to move a deceased from a cot or an exam table onto those tables, they tip. Debbie almost got hurt this morning because we had 3 autopsies today and we only had 2 tables, so we had to put one on a high table. At which time the top table come off and swiveled, and it is a safety concern, has been for a long time. I'm very appreciative of what we have in that morgue. That's amazing to be the only morgue around in this area. So I compliment everybody in the county, but we've got some equipment that was just either bought used or handed down. And it's just, it would really benefit us, and hopefully next year we'll be able to get a couple more and get rid of those short tables. The dimensions and everything else on the short versus the flat tables are on those justification sheets that I handed you. The company is Mopec, that we had contacted in regards to a price on the tables. And unfortunately, I only have one sheet. But the price on that is $4,423.65. I went over a little bit on that because of shipping and handling, because those tables are probably quite heavy to send out. One reason those tables are so expensive is the price of steel went up 80% since February. So it is expensive.
It's crazy. I know, it's crazy, what's going on with prices.
Hopefully I can answer any questions you may have. We're currently on a record year as far as, we had 3 autopsies today. I've been out 5 nights on 5 overnight calls since the 25th of June. So, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, we appreciate
I'm thankful that I get to do what I get to do.
So with the year half up, you've not used a lot of your lab and x-ray money?
Correct.
You feel confident transferring this, it won't short you there?
Yes. Because lab and x-rays are a special need item if you have a shooting or something along those lines. And you always have the possibility of running into that. You may run into, if it's a child abuse situation, you have to get full-body x-rays. So hopefully we've left enough there, because I didn't go for the full amount to transfer over to get 2 tables. That's why we went with one, to keep $5,000 back in that line item, so that if we needed the labs, x-rays, and what have you, then we'd have something to
You
fall
still
back
have
on.
funding there.
And I
Okay.
wouldn't come in here and look at y'all and go, you know, actually,
Yeah, I spent all my money. All right. Anyone have any questions? Well, we appreciate you being there, and we understand that need, and looks like you've done your research, and we appreciate that. I look for a motion.
Make the motion to make the transfer as requested to the coroner's office.
Kelly Akala will second.
Prather and Kelly Acala will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Let the record show motion passes 7-0.
I appreciate the job
Thank you,
y'all are
Mike.
doing.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mike.
much.
Good job.
Next request comes from EMA. Mr. Toomey is here with us. Good evening.
I had put a document in everybody's table for the interns. I have $500 in extra help that I try to get every year. We've had interns for the last 4 years, and we get a lot of bang for our buck out of these interns. The professor at Vincennes over this program likes our mentorship, and I wanted to transfer $1,000 over to extra help. There are 200 hours that they come in and serve. We take them to meetings. Everything we do, they're a part of. I give each one of them 2 major projects to complete for us. So we can, I usually write them a letter recommendation after they're done. And I want to see what kind of workers they are. And so some of the projects that they've done are, when Nathan was our intern, he updated all the EMA emergency plans. And there's probably about 9 plans he updated, which saved thousands of dollars if we would have, contracted that out. Sydney developed a self-populating NIMS template on Excel. So there's NIMS forms are probably 25 different forms that you fill out during an emergency or disaster. Now we have the ability to go in and it self-populates as we do these federal forms. I've shared that with fire departments, police departments. It was a big money saver. They helped write some ThyroHire and SPR, and our newest, Jacob Cox, he updated the safety data sheets. We did the 911 Center and Emergency Management, and he got with Michelle and updated their safety data sheets.
Okay.
Under the Right to Know Act, it's federal law that you have that and available to employees. So we're getting a lot of things out of these interns, and I'd like to compensate them for that. So we're going to transfer money from supplies operating to part-time.
And you're still good in your supplies and operating, you feel, to get you through to the end of the year without?
Kim, I turn money back in every year if I don't use it.
I thought you did.
I'm not the wait till October and spend every dime we have. I'm a good steward of the county's money.
Yeah, you are. I appreciate that.
How many years have you had interns? I mean, I'm just curious since I'm new to the council.
This is the 4th year.
4th year. And do you know how many you're going to get every year, or is it just kind of?
No, every one of these kids are local.
Yeah.
They're from Morgan County. So no, the professor, usually if he's got a kid from Morgan County, which they normally always do, he tells them, get with Morgan County Emergency Management and do your internship. So that's how we come across when
Great
they call us.
Appreciate it. Anyone else have questions? Hearing none, I look for a motion.
Vicky Kivett makes a motion that we approve the transfers outlined on the agenda.
Chip Keller will second. Sorry, Troy.
You're good.
Vicky Kivett made that motion. Troy Sprinkle was our second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jeannie, you're up for an encore. No? No? Okay.
Oh, you don't have the.
I don't have the updated one.
Yes, I just got it. That's how I knew there was
I'm sorry.
That's the addition.
Okay. Scotty, I'm sorry. I didn't have the updated agenda.
Can share.
It's just Scotty. I said it's just you, right?
She's going to share it with me. Vicky's going to share it with me.
First off, I apologize. I had 3 yards to mow and weed eat after I got off work, and I was enjoying it so much I decided to wear some of it to the meeting, so I apologize. I'm asking tonight to move from equipment rental, $1,500, into gas, oil, and tires. My budget in gas, oil, and tires is dwindling. As we know, fuel prices are all over the place. I've done a lot of extra traveling early in the year, putting together a list. There was no list of places that I have to go check. So that's some of it. It's a full-time job now where it wasn't before, so, and that Ford drinks gas. So I don't anticipate and can't think of anything that I would need to rent. I asked Dan today if we could take 500 out of that to put into my cell phone account because that phone broke and I had to get a new phone. So I'm just asking for $1,500 from equipment rental to gas, oil, and tires to get me through. I think that'll do me for the year. I really try to conserve, but today I was in Morgantown to do some work, and I got a customer complaint and had to come all the way back to Martinsville. And those things do happen, but that's 20 miles. I didn't have to drive, and like I said, that thing, you can see the gas gauge move. So if the council would be so
Can't drive anything
kind.
littler and have all the equipment you need, though, can you?
What's that?
You can't drive anything littler and have all the equipment you need,
Correct,
right? So
yeah.
we'll
I
have
did
to-
take the weights off of that truck, and that really made a noticeable difference. So I'm done with those, I think, for the year, the weights part, so. Yeah, it did make a difference, so I'm trying, looking out for the money.
You're doing good. I'm seeing you out early in the morning.
We
doing
did
your-
see each
yeah.
other.
Where's the cheapest gas in town, Scotty? Never mind.
I'm willing to take phone numbers and call when I find one that's in favor of the customer.
I was just kidding.
How are you doing with getting around to all your stops and meters and all that?
Yeah,
Being
I'm
a
doing
new
really
guy.
good. I think I'm ahead of schedule for this year. I am getting hooked up with Ziptility, which the county uses in other department, I don't know what. I'd put together a list, but I'm old school, so it's just a Word document, but at least it's something on paper. But it's ever changing. Last week I found 2 scales that didn't know we had. So it's ever changing, but once I can get all that on Ziptility, it's gonna be nice, but there'll be extra miles there too, because I'm gonna take pictures of places. There's a lot of data you can put into the Ziptility, so that one day when I leave this job, whoever gets it will have a better understanding of what we got, where it's at, and hopefully,
How are you notified? Like if Meat Market gets a new scale, how are you notified of that?
sometimes I'm not. Sometimes you find it when you go back the following year, like I've done all my scales this year that I know of. Sometimes I wouldn't be notified, and I would find it next year and make necessary changes to the paperwork. And I try to, for instance, the new Foxcliff gas station that opened, I even included the date that it was open, because I don't know, down the road, we may need to know, or someone may want to know, when did this station, come to the county? When did they open? So I don't know, anything I can think to put in there. That's what's so good about Ziptility is there's a lot of data. You can go in and every year make notes. I found this, I found that. So if there is a consistent pattern of something wrong or doing something wrong, then that data will be there forever.
Is there a
So-
charge for that service? I mean,
I'm
does the
sure there
county-
is. I don't
But is
know.
it encompassed into
The
one
county
charge,
already
or is
has
it
it.
per office that uses it?
Right now, the bulk of it is paid by the highway department. Part of it is paid by Terry Brockman, the surveyor's office. But they will let us add layers for other departments.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, good.
And I'm familiar with that. I worked with it with the city, so I'm very familiar with it. So there should be very little training that goes with that, which they don't charge for the training anyhow. You just make a phone call and they come and
Okay.
meet with you. So
Good.
it's a good system. It really is. So.
All right. Any other questions to Mr. Manley?
No, but I will make a motion that we approve the transfer of $1,500 to the accounts outlined on the agenda. Equipment rental to gas, oil, and tires.
Have a motion by Vicky Kivett,
Jason Maxwell seconds.
second by Jason Maxwell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you,
Thanks,
council.
Scotty. Thanks for what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Drop it. Okay. Jeannie, now for your encore.
Where you were gonna tell us that there was 40%. I didn't know I actually had that.
Don't ask me those percentage questions, I'm sorry.
Put the mic down a little bit,
Okay,
Jeannie.
sure.
For the short
Short
girls.
girls.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of let you all know where we were at with the expenditures on the COVID clinic. If you'll remember, the one fund we got from the state, $80,640, we used all of it for salaries, and it pretty much took us through to the end, with salary. But we have had to spend a little bit out of the rainy day fund, the $179,000 that you all graciously provided for us to fund the clinic. With the grant that you all just approved, we can quit using this COVID or the rainy day fund. And we can start using the money from the $143,000 to kind of finish COVID clinics and all that good stuff, paying nurses and all of that. So I included a little spreadsheet here to just to kind of let you know where we spent the money from, or where the money has been spent. And right now, remaining in the budget from the $179,000, we still have $103,210 left. There are a few things that we do have to finish spending or paying for. We've got to finish out the utilities down at that building. We just got the Duke Energy bill, and it was $1,300, and it went through like June 21st. So I'm sure we'll get another bill for a week worth of utility there. Water bill and gas bill have not come in. So I do need to keep this fund open until we do get those final expenditures in. I'm anticipating we might spend about $5,000 more of it. But even at that, that's about roughly half of what you all gave us to use for the project. So, you know, I've been real happy about that. I think that's great. We totally used what the state gave us, and then about half of what you all have given us. So just wanted to make you aware of that. That's where we're at on those funds. Does anyone have any questions about what was spent there, or?
Nope. I think
From
you did a
that
good job handling that.
report?
Good steward of that money.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions on that?
No, but I appreciate the update. I think that's,
We
I
sure do,
appreciate the
Jean.
update.
Okay, yep, great. Then, did anyone else, did you have something, hon?
Just going to ask, did our county use all the vaccine that was available to us? Seemed like
I
so
mean,
many people went other
we
places and got vaccine.
Constantly get the vaccine
Yeah,
in,
we'll have
so
more
we
coming
are
in.
continually using, yeah.
But we were getting it at the pace we needed down here. You weren't turning people away because you
Oh,
weren't
no,
getting
no,
it through
no,
or anything.
no, we got toward the last month, we were even doing walk-ins.
Yeah,
So, yeah, people, anyone who wanted it, were able to go right in and get it, yeah. So, yeah. So any other questions about the clinic? Other than the percentages? Okay.
I won't ask that again, Keely.
Okay, then one more thing I wanted to kind of mention to you. We've also gotten a new grant from the state. What it will do is, once they turn the billing into the insurance companies for the COVID vaccinations, then each county will receive funds for the vaccinations they've given. Right today, we've given out 15,487 vaccines. We will get paid anywhere from, well, they've got it broke down where it depends on if you got it before March 1st, 15th, or after March 15th. After March 15th, it's more, you get a little bit more money. Why that is, I have no idea. But we will start getting paid for the vaccinations that have been given thus far, and then until December 31st of this year. So, and in that contract, it does not designate that we have to do anything in particular with the money. So, and of course, I don't know if we have to ask the commissioners what we can do with what they recommend we do, or the council with the money. But do you know, Josh?
Depending on what fund it goes to, but certainly council.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we were kind of wanting to kind of mention that maybe it be considered that we could kind of set that money aside to help pay for a new generator, since this one has gone kaput. Or even we've kind of had, last fall, we had kind of looked into an electrical sign for the building. So we were hoping to maybe be able to put some of those funds to go for those items. However, if you all choose that we reimburse some to the county for what they've spent for the COVID clinic, then that's certainly understandable, so.
Do you have an amount you anticipate? I mean, just a ballpark?
What'd you say you had figured?
Upper end 150.
Okay.
Okay.
And the cost of a generator?
The generator, we thought was about 59,000.
50 to 80. We started looking at replacing it, but we realized not all of what we have is up to code in terms of what needs backed up. We were going to start that process prior to doing the bot.
Right.
And so if we were to size it up, I know that Home Bank's generator was in the upper 70s. So I'm ballparking from our quotes, the level
Right.
of what it is today versus what I think it could be in that range.
You're talking the generator right out here?
That, yeah.
That's not that old, is it?
What did
7 or
we
8 years?
I don't know how old it is.
Well, I have the paperwork upstairs. I want to say it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was gonna- I was thinking it was
2008, I
11 years
think,
old. I don't know why.
is what I looked up. But,
Could you just use it in emergency, right? If the system goes down, it
right,
kicks in?
but I don't know what all causes it to fail or anything. I'm not an electrician either.
Josh might be able to give some insight.
We've had a few different electricians take a look at it. They finally came to the conclusion, they think it's been struck by lightning at some point. And every time we chase the problem to the next thing, that doesn't work either. And they've advised us stop throwing good money after bad money. So we think it's completely wasted. We had replaced one of the main circuit boards. They said that can be sold aftermarket to somebody else. But beyond that, they said it's essentially scrap value at this point.
Yeah.
So it currently doesn't work.
Does not work at
That
all.
needs to be replaced sooner than later.
Yep.
We really
We need it. It should be here for an emergency situation, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
So if
And
it doesn't
we
work,
have-
we need it.
We have over $100,000 worth of vaccines upstairs.
Sure.
We don't want to
that
Absolutely.
if,
risk that.
you know,
Right.
Pay for it if something went out.
And we
need
did
one here.
put the old vaccine fridge at the coroner's office and hooked up to their generator power so that at least we can move the vaccines if we
Okay,
ever make
good.
an issue.
Good thought. Okay.
We need to do that.
Pay for that somehow or another ASAP.
Would agree.
okay.
Did any-
So,
Was
that's
there
my
anything
report
else?
on that.
Was there anything else you needed us to address
No,
on that?
No, I just kind of wanted to let y'all be aware that grant has been given as well. Now, we haven't started getting any money yet, but, yeah, I guess when we do, we'll have to go to one of, whichever body that we have to get it approved at and get that taken care of. But just kind of wanted to let you all know that that is in the works as well. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Need to bring that up. That might be something, I mean, I know we're all aware of the ARPA money, the America's Recovery. So that might be something we could look at in that funding too, because that would be justified.
Need to get that now.
Yeah,
I would say it needs to be sooner than later. That needs to be done this year.
yeah.
Kim, are we sure we want to wait until we think we're going to get money in for something that important to the
Well,
building?
we have our portion of
ARPA money.
that.
That
We
should
have the
be
first
spent
half
now.
of that.
We start spending it already.
We don't have any quotes, so.
All right, good enough. Because I was understanding we couldn't start spending it on,
We can spend it if we have identified what we believe is clearly an eligible expense. And I don't think that you could question a generator. I mean, that's COVID related. I mean,
Protection of the vaccine.
protection of the vaccines and continued operations of the building and so forth and so on.
well, thank you for updating me on that because I was understanding we didn't know what we could spend that money on yet. I've asked a couple of
We
times.
don't have clear, I
Well,
mean, there are a lot of gray areas and
Yes.
fuzzy lines, but this just seems to me.
that one's not a
what-
gray area.
Not,
Yeah.
I think this is pretty clearly.
So I guess my next question is that a commissioner's thing to get something started on that? Or is that your thing? How does that get going?
So the thought process to date, and we can reevaluate this, is that the money that we're going to get back from the state is likely going to be put into the health fund. They were the impetus to look at doing the signage. As I understand from history, they were the impetus for the generator. We have a temporary generator solution for the vaccines. I think the money that would come back to the health fund will be more restrictive in what we can use it for than the ARPA money that I think we can put to use in other ways. So I personally wasn't fearful about getting it deployed immediately, knowing that we have a backup solution in place at the coroner's office. But if that's something you all feel really strongly about, we can always revisit that, and I can talk about it with the commissioners.
So it's something you guys are already thinking about and got an idea in place
plan.
too?
Yeah, we already
A plan.
got quotes. We were gonna come and
Okay.
ask for an emergency repair. Once we realized we could provide a solution for the vaccines, it was no longer as important, and we wanted to make sure it was sized appropriately instead of just replacing. And I got a quote from an engineering firm to appropriately size it and go through our electrical and all that. I can't remember offhand now. It was over $15,000 just to make sure we got the right size generator. So
Okay.
that's why we decided to take it a different tactic essentially.
Fair enough, I just
So
wanted, I guess I was just
I'm open,
concerned.
if you all have strong opinions, that's kind of how we got to where we are today.
Sounds like that's an appropriate solution for now, especially if we can leverage this money in a better way going forward, then I'm fine to wait.
Very-
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you think.
I'm
Do
fine.
we want to?
It's whatever that you and the commissioners and.
The one that doesn't work. So that means if electricity would go down, there would be no electricity in this building. So there would be no way for these employees to work, or, I mean,
Yeah, but it doesn't run those kind of functions
sure,
anyways.
it doesn't do everything anyway.
No,
Okay.
it was limited in response, and we found out, we think it had been down for over a year before we even knew that it wasn't working.
As long as you have a plan.
Well, I don't think it's anything we can act on as far as the money this evening, but we'll just
I
have to.
wouldn't think we could act on it this evening. I was just thinking that was something that, I was hoping there was already a start in place. And I'm sure our commissioners are very adept at taking care of those situations if needed, so.
And while we're on that subject, I've gotten a lot of calls from different places asking about this America's Recovery Plan money. And I just thought it would be good to be clear that the commissioners are who makes this plan. And then they bring that plan to us of what they want to do with this funding. So the calls we're receiving, I've told folks, you need to talk to your commissioners. So I'm kind of throwing it back in your lap, Don, but it's just because that's not my lane yet. And so I just wanted to be clear that those aren't our dollars to commit to. I don't know if the rest of you are getting calls that people are saying, hey, we need this and we need that. So just be careful what you commit ourselves to, because we're not the ones that make the plan initially. What else is on our list for this evening? We have other business. Dan, did you have something you needed to?
Well, I wanted just to provide you that the calculation for the percentage increase for the operating levies for the county for 2022 has been calculated by the state budget agency, and that the percentage increase, allowable percentage increase for 2022 is going to be 4.3%. This year's allowable increase was 4.2%, so it's even slightly higher than this year's increase. And what is coming down your way is the calculation of that percentage increase, and you can see that income in the statewide income in Indiana grew by 5.85%. The non-farm, what they call non-farm personal income, the 2020 compared to 2019 increased by 5.85%. I don't know what kind of commentary that is on COVID and the supposed downturn in the economy, but I don't think it happened, at least in that sector. Many people were working, while they may not have been working in a building that they normally worked in, they probably, many were working from home, and some still are. Or remotely from some other location, but it appears that people in Indiana were still working and earning income. So
Good, that's
I think
great.
that's a good signal for, we're a few weeks or months away from knowing, or at least a couple, not quite a full 2 months now, away from knowing what our, well, actually it's less than 2 months, what our estimated local income tax will be for 2022, but I'm feeling good that it's probably not going to be less than it is this year.
Good. That's good news.
It's probably going to be at least equal to, if anything, with those, I mean, if that kind of a percentage income, I can't imagine
Yeah.
that our income tax is going to decrease for 2022.
Right.
It may still eventually decrease at some point, but I think we're going to be good for budgets for 2022.
Good, that's good news, Dan. I
Very good.
appreciate that, yes. And then, speaking of budgets, have departments started getting you their budgets? Have you started to receive those in?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
I think I am not, I've been working on the salary increase request along with some other distractions that have come along my way.
sure. I just wanted to see if,
But yes, and I don't have those compiled into reports yet.
all right, that's all right.
That's this week's work. so.
Okay, but everyone has their assignments on who you were assigned to on your
But
budgets?
yes, everybody has done a great job
Good.
at submitting their budget requests. so.
Okay, good teams. Did you have anything?
I do want to say that a week ago Saturday, Chip, Kelly, myself, and Kim went to the State Called Council meeting at Plainfield. And that
Good
was
meeting.
a long educational day. And I have handbooks for those that didn't go, and I'm sorry I went off and forgot those, but I'll get those to you.
Yeah, that was a good day. It gave us a lot of information on the funding that's coming, well, as much information as they have on the funding that's coming from a federal level.
I just have a newbie question. So before we go and call our assigned offices and try and meet with them, Dan, will you automatically send us like some preliminary budget reports that we can review? Or do I need to request those from your office?
No, I will be sending those to you. I do a compilation of all the budgets and
Okay.
be giving that to you here.
Dan will create a nice binder that it's very easy to follow and
Does
it's,
everyone have their binders that have binders, or did you turn them in? I can't remember.
I kept mine.
I have mine.
From last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
do
so
can I
we-
get a new one though?
You want a new
I
one?
want a new one. I keep
New
those
one.
from
I
the
gotta
year
keep my old one,
before.
too.
I reflect back on it.
Sometime.
Can we splurge? Have we got enough money in the
We'll
budget
find
for it?
money somewhere.
There's an office supply place we could
Money out
probably.
of the salaries account, I think.
We have leftover money from the nameplate line item.
go.
So let's call you about those.
Yeah, that's right.
We want notebooks.
So I didn't know, so you're gonna keep those, you don't wanna replace
I don't
this
want to
one
replace,
with-
no.
Okay,
I'd like to have a new one. I know.
that's good to know.
Talking about conferences, the AIC is coming up. First day to register for that's July 14th. I think some of us that are planning on going want your office to kind of hit that. And I noticed on here you have to be registered and get a number back for the room block and before you can set your room, so.
Right.
You can do your affiliate day, which I think is that Tuesday, which will be, the county council will have, from throughout the state will have a meeting that day and lunch. And if you can't go for all 3 days, I highly suggest that you come down and go to at least that one day.
What date is that again, Vicki? The affiliate day?
Would probably be the 21st.
I want to say it's on, oh, the dates of the conference are, help me out, Kim. September 20th through the 23rd. Is the 20th a Sunday?
The
'Cause some-
20th is a Monday.
Okay, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I
Do we
think-
let Dan know if we want to attend, or do we register ourselves?
I was gonna say, please, as soon as you know that you wanna go, and if you wanna go all days, or just one day, or what day, or whatever you wanna do,
Right.
the sooner you can let me know that before the 14th.
21st?
It's the 21st.
That'll be, that way I can be ready to,
Your AIC magazine that you get in the mail has this article and all in it. And it's down at Belterra. No easy way to get down there,
No,
I don't think.
There's not.
But
Good. Yeah, I'll be attending. I'll send you a.
yeah, send me an email.
Send an email to Dan if you're interested in attending any portion of that, and there's funding in our budget to to sign up for that.
The workshops are on, of course, CARES and ARPA.
In August.
Yeah, in August.
Energy seems to be a big thing on the horizon, the windmills and all that, and broadband, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we never get those. Anyway, this article in AIC will pretty much tell you everything.
Meeting is the August 2nd.
August 2nd will be our next meeting.
Have any high hopes of doing anything other than
Does that conflict with this
The one I went to Saturday, they talked a lot about that ARP money.
The August 3rd, right?
it's over a million.
schedule
No one can
that a
tell you what
different
you can spend it
day?
on for sure. So. But you definitely don't want to spend it.
We'll
until
need
you
a
know
break from that.
Because then you're gonna pay it back, right?
That's right.
This is like, I want to come here.
Wine show over.
So we're scheduled for August 2nd as our next meeting, and then August is a big, big month, so be ready, yeah. Is there anything else from any of the council members?
And be paying attention to your email, because you're gonna start getting emails, and some of them are gonna probably be pretty large size. So if you get an email from me that you can't open, please, please, please let me know.
Will
So-
you let us know when the binders are ready so we can pick them up?
No.
I like to have them when I go meet with them.
I can tell you binders aren't gonna happen till the latter part of July.
We understand that. That's good. That's all right.
That's not far away,
That's
though,
not that
Dave.
far off.
That's next week, like.
You'll get an electronic version before you'll get a binder.
Okay.
Let me just say that.
We need to start visiting our people we'll be coming out about soon, because I need to start calling on them.
Talked to, have already told me they have theirs ready.
They
If
have,
I mean, they can,
all
if you,
ready if you want to
if
start.
you want to talk to
But
them
I
and
don't
say,
I mean, I have it, if you know you're gonna go see a department, if you'll let me know, I will email you what I have. It's just not gonna be in
a packet
a
yet.
packet.
Thank you, that's what I was wanting to
Let
know.
me know, yeah,
Okay, thanks, Dan.
because that's not a problem, that's easy.
Week of July.
Anything else from the public? We appreciate you being here.
I'll won't meet with anybody.
Those of you that stayed.
Wake up now and go home.
I look for a motion to adjourn.
Chip's got all the papers.
I think we need,
We got minutes in the ordinance?
I think we've seen the minutes come through, have we, or? No, here they are, sorry, they're right in
Got
front of me.
everything?
We got it.
Things to sign, right?
Right, 2 things to sign. Okay. We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
That was a very forceful eye.